What's going on, guys? Jacoborth back here with another video, Jacob's Life in Vegas, talking to you guys today about something that I wanted to follow up. Essentially, it's a follow-up video to, if you guys remember recently in Las Vegas, there was potential for a strike to take place here with the culinary union. They were at the end of their 5-year deal, and they were trying to reach a new contract with, big properties like MGM Resorts, with Caesars International, and then with other properties downtown around the area too. It was about 50,000 employees it was involving. And one of the things they talked about in this new deal with the unions, a big thing they talked about was, protection from future automation. This is something I want to talk about, where it's like, almost like, will robots ruin Vegas? Will Las Vegas get ruined? The Las Vegas experience, will it get ruined by, automation, robots, and technology that, are pretty much inevitably coming here in the future? And that's something I want to talk about, because that really caught my eye when they said they wanted protection from automation, along with other things like higher wages. So, this technological advancement is something that really nobody can stop, okay? As somebody who moved here from Silicon Valley, I can tell you that technology is a pretty hard force to fight. And, other industries have learned that over, hundreds of years. This isn't just something that happened recently, because there's pros and cons to technology developing. Generally, there's a lot more pros for the greater population than there are cons, And, technological development isn't always a bad thing. Fortunately, I'm talking to you on a camera right now, right? Because of technology advancing. Fortunately, when we go home, we flip on a light switch and the lights come on, and we're not, having to burn oil for light. Fortunately, we're able to drive cars to get us around town. We're not doing horseback, right? We're able to fly a plane to travel long distance instead of riding a train. Technological advances make our lives easier in a lot of ways. So it was something that really caught my eye, that the unions wanted more protection from these resorts against automation, against technological advancement. And we'll look at it from the pros and cons, we'll look at it from the businesses, the hotels, the casinos themselves, from the customer, you and me, people like you and me that are gonna be traveling, not just here to Vegas, but to other places around the country and around the world, but also from the perspective of the employees. Now, for the business, they have way more pros than cons. They have way more reasons to go ahead and use new technology and just go ahead and adapt and implement it, probably than the other two categories, really. Businesses are gonna probably get the biggest benefit. Customers are getting a really big benefit too, and then employees are probably gonna get the least amount of benefit from this. So, with businesses, there's not a whole lot of incentive for them to not use automation and not use technology, because, one, they're gonna need it to be competitive, right? Other companies are gonna be using it, and it's gonna give them an advantage, it's gonna save them a lot of costs, so they need to use this to stay competitive in the marketplace. Now, businesses are always looking to do more with less, okay? They wanna get as much maximize revenue as they can by using as little resource as they can, okay? So whether you're a small company with 5 people, or whether you're a large company with 5,000 employees, you're trying to do the best you can with as little resources you have to get the most money, okay? You don't want to spend extra money, or you don't want to waste money in your business if you don't have to. You want to do what you can with what you have. So, in that regard, companies have a huge incentive to go ahead and start using machines. Why? Because just think of just think of a check-in desk, right? You could have less employees, so you have less employees to pay, so you have less people to pay. Machines don't need to go to the bathroom, right? They don't need to take breaks. They don't need to have a half-hour lunch, right? Machines don't sue you for issues in the workplace, right? You don't have to worry about lawsuits coming from machines. They don't have to take time off because, they have some family emergency, right? They don't have to run to go to their kids' games. Don't ever request time off for personal events. Machines don't do any of that. They do none of that. So, the cost cutting that you save with machines is just huge. That's why businesses love it so much. Now, if you're the customer, you'll probably like it too, because in a lot of ways it's going to make your life easier, right? So think of, when you come in to sometimes check in and check out of the hotels in Vegas, how long the line can be, how long of a wait it can be. Think of you just go ahead and do it yourself, right? In other places, other industries have already jumped on this, right? Some places you can order your food, like at a McDonald's, just on a kiosk. I've seen a video on YouTube or Facebook a couple years ago of a waiterless restaurant. They had no waiters in this place. The other place, they don't even have bartenders. They have actual robots that'll pour your drinks for you, So you have less people in the process. So as a customer, you can use technology to check in, check out when you go to your room, right? You know, a lot of times some of these new hotels, they're not even using room keys anymore. They just have an app on their phone. You just go to the door at your room, you scan it, and you're in your room. You don't even have to use a room key anymore. So think of how much money that saves hotels, not having to purchase or buy or, you know, make new room keys. Think how much money it saves you, the consumer, how much time, I should say, it saves you, the customer. If you ever lose your room key, you don't have to go back to the front desk because you don't have a room key to lose. You can just scan yourself in, scan yourself out. It makes the process of getting in, getting out quicker. You can use the technology to your advantage as a customer, just like a business can. Now, the big downside to the business and the customer is the fact that you lose some human interaction, right? So when people are coming on vacation, you know, they want to have, you know, the hotel's nice, they want to go to a restaurant and, you know, do that kind of fun stuff that are aesthetically appealing, but they want to get that experience that, you know, a lot of times you only get from having a person, you know, hey, show you a nice wine menu. They tell you what they have going on for their dinner that night, or they tell you, you know, what shows they had taking place. You know, you get the human touch is hard to replace. So, you know, using technology doesn't mean that these hotels are going to lose all of the human touch, but, you know, there is going to be some loss in human touch. But, you know, the hotels, I'm sure they're going to love, any business is going to love all the savings that they get. So if you're the business, you probably have the most advantages for doing this, the most reason to do this. If you're the customer, you have a lot of reason to like it too, because it's going to make your life more convenient, right? So technology advancement usually does that. If you're the employee, then you're not liking this because you're next to get displaced by technology, you know, and the first step usually against technological advancement is protection. That's what people have tried for a long, long time. Probably the most recent example here in Vegas is Uber, right? With Uber and Lyft coming to town, taxi companies lobbied for protection. They lobbied against it, the legal system, but they couldn't win. I knew at some point they were not going to win that battle because technology is really hard to fight. And then also, you have two other factors going on. Technology is hard to fight. You have people coming here to town visiting Vegas that are always used to using Uber back home and Lyft back home where they live at. So you have the visitors who want it. They also have the locals who wanted it too, because a lot of locals weren't happy with the taxi cab industry here. So you had a lot of factors working against you that they were not going to be able to prevent. I think a similar battle is going to take place, you know, in the future here, where, you know, technology is going to be tough to fight, and these hotels are going to want to cut their costs. Another thing that happened in the negotiations last time was unions wanted a raise and wanted higher wages. Well, if you're the business and you're paying, you know, higher wages for people to do a job that you could just have a machine do, you pay, you know, one time to have it installed, have it set up, there's some maintenance cost that goes along with it, but your costs are going to be way lower with that machine over time than with an employee who's always expecting to get a raise and get paid more. So, you know, I think in the future, it's going to be a tough battle for a lot of employees here in the hospitality industry on the Strip. A lot of them are going to be, you know, getting displaced by technology. We're probably going to see less people in the future working here on the Strip, working here. They're just not going to need as many employees to do as many jobs as we did before. So I want to hear what you guys have to say about this. Tell me what you think about technology coming here to Vegas, right? Using more robots, using more automation, you know, things like that. I want to hear what you guys have to say about this because, you know, Vegas is changing. Vegas is always changing. This city is always changing. And, you know, the technology is going to be coming here to town in the future. That's just another change coming. It's going to be always happening. So I want to hear what you guys have to say. Please subscribe for more awesome videos in the future. That's it for this one. I'm Jacob. This is My Life in Vegas.